I would say that Lily Rose is fearless. She's fearless. She's immensely talented. She is her own woman with her own voice. And her work ethic is bar none.
Congratulations. So much anticipation, and you're premiering in Cannes. How are you taking it all in?
It's so overwhelming and beyond. I never in a million years thought that this would be how I would come to Cannes. It's been really, really mind-blowing. Everyone was so warm and kind, and it's so exciting. You know, when you do a project and sign on, at least I try to make the best decision for my career and strategize in the moment, which is truly the unknown, right? And then you take the job, and then you do the job, and throughout the process of doing the job, it's a weird thing where you're trying not to jinx it, and by jinx it, I mean like, put more on it by being like, this is the most amazing thing ever. It's gonna be, you know what I mean? Because we're in a business that doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? Or as they say, the math is just not mathing. So you have to release and let it go. But when you have moments like this, where things come into fruition and what you did is seen and heard and celebrated, it's beyond, because that doesn't happen all the time, and it doesn't happen as frequent as people think.
I am like barely sleeping, but feeling really good. It's really nice to celebrate this moment as like a group and get to kind of enjoy ourselves as well. And I was saying, like, normally I am really good about splitting work and play, but in honor of this show and in honor of, like, you know, the tone of it and everything like that, I was like, we need to also fit in some party time. So we're definitely burning the candle at both ends right now. Lily and I have become really, really close over filming. And so there was moments they call cut and I'm like, are you okay, girl? Like, that was crazy. She's fearless and she goes for it, and she really, really digs deep and gives like the performance of a lifetime in this show.
So I want to talk about Lily Rose and her performance as Jocelyn. You play her co-manager. You have some key scenes together in the first couple of episodes. What was it like for you seeing her transform into this vulnerable, fearless person?
That's a really great way of saying it, vulnerable, fearless person. I would say that Lily Rose is fearless. She's fearless. She's immensely talented. She is her own woman with her own voice, and her work ethic is bar none. It was such an honor to be privy to watching her process, because it's a very private thing. She is truly a very special person, and I feel so lucky to have had the opportunity to work with her. I think in many ways it was at times art imitating life, you know, that I definitely took a kindness and a warmness towards her. She was so dedicated in making it be the best that she can be in this role, that similarly to her character, she wanted to do many takes, you know what I mean? And it could be better, it can be better. And there'd be times where I'd be like, you've got it, trust it. And it's just so beautiful to see.
So Jocelyn is vulnerable and fearless. How did you access the essence of this person?
I was so lucky with what I was presented with. Whatever I made of the character, you know, I couldn't have done without what was just put in front of me, like what was on the page. She was already so beautifully complex and meaty and layered, and there was like so much to dive into in this character just like right off the bat. And so getting to kind of figure it out and nourish who she is and kind of build her from the ground up with Sam and Abel was such a special process. And also getting to like challenge myself and push myself to places that I hadn't been before, and letting myself be fueled by the challenge and try and do the best job at it that I possibly could was really, really special. I feel like I grew so much making this.
You just mentioned Abel, and you know, I really felt the impact of that dance scene in the first episode as Madonna's Like a Prayer is playing in the background. So let's talk about this creative dance that you have with Abel on and off screen and working together. What was that experience like?
You know, I could go on and on about how much I love Abel and value him as a friend and a collaborator. He really had my back, like, when we were shooting, and I have his back. We just created this really strong friendship and bond. And also, like, you know, we were both kind of like stepping into new territory, in that, like, I'm not a singer and he, like, you know, wasn't an actor before this and everything. And so I think getting to kind of both have something that we were more familiar with than the other kind of like helped us, you know, even out a little bit, and like I would get nervous about the singing stuff and he would be there for me, and he really like gave me the confidence that I could do certain things that I wasn't sure that I could do and everything. He's just a great person. Like, he's just grounded and kind, and he's a generous scene partner, and he's fearless, you know, and he's like everything that you could ever wish for in a scene partner. And I think also like having that level of comfort and like safety with the person that you're doing, you know, really kind of vulnerable emotional work with, it's a dream.
As a musician, what does it mean to you to see that music is so global?
It's the coolest thing in the world to me. You know, I talk about like global pop all the time, and it's actually something that gets explored in this show a little bit, is like the power of pop music. And there's something so kind of like nostalgic to me, thinking about, you know, like Madonna and Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson and, you know, these like global superstars. It's just like the coolest thing in the world to me. You know, I think about like watching Spice World, the documentary, when I was like, you know, 5 or 6 or whatever it was, and just like understanding then in sort of like my child brain that, wow, music is a really powerful thing.
This is a story about a pop star, and our culture is obsessed with pop stars, particularly female pop stars. Now,
Sure.
Britney Spears is mentioned in the show. Lily Rose has talked about, you know, working in elements of Beyoncé or Mariah Carey. What is it about these pop stars that make these stories so compelling for us?
I think it's the mystique. It's the mystique, and it's also this idea that I think, you know, I'm a female, so I can only speak from a female perspective, but the power that we have in being a woman, and how if you know what you're doing, you can walk into a room and control every single person in there in a way that a man can't. And the woman can do it and not even open her mouth to talk, right? So I think there's extreme power and mystique and mystery. I mean, Beyonce doesn't even give interviews anymore. So I think it's this thing of everybody always wants something they can't have. And at the same time, especially with the women, it seems from the outside looking in, it's way more performative than, you know what I mean, male pop stars. So it literally is a whole nother persona. So I think then there's this infatuation in knowing who is the real fill in the blank, right?
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.